Hello everybody, hope you're doing marvelously well. This is a good one. I'm very excited to do this. I've been to many mastering studios and mixing studios of some of the finest mastering engineers and mixers in the world. And most of them, if not all of them, have a lot of gear by a particular company called Elysia. And I don't. You like that? Span around. Whoa, I don't. As yet. So this is something I've been really rather excited about. We're going to review a new, well, newish piece of equipment called the Nvelope 500. Dun, dun, dun. First of all, I don't know if it's released yet, but this is called the Qube. So what this is like you can buy a 500 series unit like this, which is a double wide, a trailer. No, it's a double wide. And it will go into this Qube. As you can see on the back here, they provided both in and outs balanced with XLRs and TRS, which is rather wonderful. And there is the power supply input here. So this is all very exciting. So you can buy this unit obviously independently and put it in your own 500 series, or you can get this new thing they have got coming out called the Qube, which I really like because small, it's portable, I can pack this in my luggage. The Nvelope 500, from what I've been reading, is essentially a really sophisticated transient designer. And I have friends that are mastering engineers that use this kind of technology in masters because sometimes things are so unbelievably annihilated when they get to them and they're just a blob that they're trying to bring out transients, do the reverse. Rather than flattening everything out, they're trying to add some dynamics and excitement to it. So I'm very excited to try this. We're going to do this on drums, we'll do it on a mix, and whatever the heck else takes our fancy. I am really excited to mess around with this. I mean, this is frequency dependent, so you can get in there and bring out like snare drums and things. Ooh, yes, or kick drums and... Okay, let's have some fun with it. So before we get started on it, I want to tell you an incredible piece of news. They're letting us give this away, which is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna have to buy one, but they're letting us give this away. The unit itself is like $1,000. I'm really excited, and it's a great giveaway. So don't forget to enter down below, and let's get stuck in. Okay, so we got this little baby patched in. What we did is we're mixing in the box, so we came in and out on the Audient just on the stereo bus, meaning we can hear it on the stereo mix, we can hear it on the drums, and we can hear it on anything we want to solo, essentially. So let's try this out on the drum mix. Now, a couple of things. If I hit this here, it stereo links it, meaning once I select the left here, it's going to control the right as well. In the full range mode, it's going to cover all the frequencies. If I don't enable full range, the attack and sustain will be wherever this frequency has been defaulted, wherever it's left. So let's make sure we're in full range before we get too clever on it. Let's have a listen. Nice. Love what it's doing to the drums there. But I sort of, even though I'm getting extra attack, I want to hear some more sustain. Oh yeah. Take it out. Okay, now at the top here is an auto gain function. So I'm going to enable that and see whether that keeps the level the same. So all we're hearing now is increased attack and increased sustain. So here is it out. Nice. Without the auto gain. So nice function. You can see that the auto gain works, so you're not going to fool yourself that it sounds better because the initial transients are louder or something like that. So that makes a huge difference, and definitely great when you're recalling a mix and you want to change a parameter like the amount of attack or sustain within the drums of the mix, but you don't want to change the volume of the drums. So that's pretty remarkable. So auto gain is engaged. Let's listen with and without. So here's with. Without. Now I'm going to bring the attack and the sustain down. I can leave the auto gain in, stereo link in, but I'm going to turn off the full range. So I'm going to see what we can do based on frequencies. So the way this works, once I've gone out of the full range mode, now what I can do is I can select where the frequency starts from, where the attack of the frequency starts from. Hopefully that makes sense. Meaning, let's just do this. If I go up to the highest possible point and boost it, you'll hear all the attack is super high. Now if I bring it down, what's happening is it's basically everything above 20 Hertz is being exaggerated. So it's almost like a full range attack. Pretty similar to, having the full range selected. But I can be obviously a little bit more detailed, so I can use it to get more attack on the kick, slap, and on the snare. So all the way up here, it's 1.4, 4, and 8K. So that little narrow thing there has got quite a lot of movement. So if I go to somewhere about just one click after 1.2, I'll probably start bringing in the attack of the kick drum and the snare. So let's set it back to no boost. Take it out. Great. So here I'm catching the attack on the kick. And also the snare. Great. So basically it's increasing the attack from everywhere from probably about 2K and above. Kick I'm usually about 2.5, so it's roughly in the area of where I like to boost the kick. So from 2.5 and above, like this, is being boosted. The attack in those frequency is being boosted. So anything that does transients that are super fast in that area are being boosted, which is great for kick and snare. So the frequency of sustain is actually a little bit more detailed because it goes to 1.3 a little earlier on, and it goes right up to 15K. So, which is actually kind of nice if you think about it. So it's everything below there. If I go right up to full there, that increases the sustain. It's almost full range. So it's really grabbing a wide area. So that's nice. So basically I am increasing the low end of the kick, I'm increasing the sustain, the ring of the snare, all of the ambience, everything is coming up. And it's pretty freaking awesome. Let's just say I want to go in and grab the low end of the snare and the kick. So I'm going to sweep this back now. Check it out. So it's really bringing in the body of the snare and the kick. Wow. I thought the drum sound was good, but now listen to it. Really, really tasty. This is why every mastering engineer worth their salt, every single one I know has some Elysia stuff, and I've seen this in racks, and I've always wondered what they're using it for. And now I can see they can get in there and they can pull out little pieces of energy. Obviously, I'm exaggerating on the drum track, which is fantastic. But think about it in a mastering chain where you're trying to find maybe some low mids that you want to either kill or you want to boost. But the point is you can get in there and create some more excitement and some edge and dynamics. With this song, it's basically a demo that I just carried on writing to. The singer and I worked on this, and I would play instruments, and actually Phil, my old engineer, played drums. I don't think this is me playing drums. He's better than me. We just put an instrument down, and quite often, like the bass guitar on this, it's just a DI, an idea put down, and that becomes, oh, that's now the guitar part. There's some Telecaster parts here that Phil put down, which are just a DI with the Sans amp on it. It was written as a demo and developed from there. So I want to see what it would be like on a bass. because the bass is just a DI with a Sans amp. Turn it off. Cool. So let's see what we can do. I am going to, it's obviously out here, going to flatten everything off. Keep the auto gain on. Now obviously, as soon as I turn up the attack and release, it's going to be on these points here. So let's engage it. Let's see if we can increase the attack on the high mids. Quite aggressive. Now let's go down to like 100. Pretty full. Now I could maybe go to, I don't know, somewhere a little bit lower, maybe about 600 or 700 and get some more honky tone out of the bass. So what it's doing, it's increasing the attack from about 600 or 700 and above, which is nice. And it's increasing the sustain, let's go up a little bit more, from like 200 and below. Take it out. Now it sounds really boring and dull. Super aggressive. I mean, really amazing tone shaping there. It's very tempting when you get this kind of quality of hardware to print tracks. Like, I'm tempted now to go back, go for the drums, print them as a stereo file, and do the same with the bass, and then remix it. I mean, it's really adding a lot of excitement to it. Okay, one more thing I'm going to try before we try it on the whole mix is a lead vocal.
The thing about love and the thing about peace, the thing about hope and the thing about me is we keep on keeping on when life gets hard. You gotta have strength and you gotta have pride, man. You gotta keep faith when they're telling you lies. You gotta keep on keeping on when life gets hard.
I think for the vocal, I'm going to actually put the sustain on the high mids and above as well.
The thing about love and the thing about peace, the thing about hope and the thing about me.
Wow!
We keep on keeping on when life gets hard. You gotta have strength and you gotta have pride, man. You gotta keep faith when they're telling you lies. You gotta keep...
Now, obviously I didn't mute the reverb there, so it's grabbing that verb. Okay, which is fantastic, but let's try it without the reverb.
The thing about love and the thing about peace, the thing about hope and the thing about me is we keep on keeping on when life gets hard. You gotta have strength and you gotta have pride, man. You gotta keep faith when they're telling you lies.
I mean, it's really bringing up a lot of craziness there. A lot of crazy stuff, but it's kind of fun. I don't know if this particular vocal is benefiting from it, but it's interesting to see what it does. And I did love what it was doing to the reverb there, just for the heck of it. Let's have a listen back to that.
The thing about love and the thing about peace, the thing about hope and the thing about me is we keep on keeping on when life gets hard. You gotta have...
It's making me think. So I'm going to put on the acoustic guitars and see how we can shape those. Absolutely perfect. I use transient designers a lot on acoustics. Really, really good for exaggerating, especially when there's a lot of compression on the guitar, bringing out some of that stuff that's been killed off. Nice. This is actually a really, really useful tool in this instance. I think I would highly recommend it for acoustics. I mean, I'm doing something pretty generic there. But when you've got a mix and you're trying to get a little bit more percussiveness and movement out of it, a lot of the really great mixers like Mark Endert, he'll send me back mixes he's done, and the acoustic is almost like an extra piece of percussion. And that's what this seems to be doing here. Great. Yeah, it's going to be very, very tempting to take this and use it a lot across the mix. I can see people really having a lot of fun with this. Okay, let's get on to the full mix. There's a couple of modes, obviously, I could work with. So I can do this. I can go to obviously full range and do attack and release on the full range, or I can get into this EQ mode. So let's try all of those different variations. I've engaged full range, so these EQs are not going to make any difference at the moment. So let's just see how much attack and how much sustain we can bring on it, and just what it does to the overall mix. It's pretty massive.
Sunrise, new beginnings will come.
It's interesting. This is so song dependent. On the ja-na-na-na-na, ga-na-na-na-na, I actually like not increasing the attack, leaving it exactly as it is, and just increasing the sustain. It grabs the ambience and brings the ambience up a little bit. Have a listen to that sort of break section.
Have strength and you gotta have pride, and you gotta keep faith from the telling you lies. You gotta keep on keeping on when life gets hard.
Find that really, really exciting. I can see why this is a great tool for a mastering engineer, let alone a mixer, because you can get in there and like create extra energy in the track that wasn't there. So if I just bring this up like one click, I don't know, sort of 0 to the first area here, listen to it in and out.
Have strength and you gotta have pride, and you gotta keep faith from the telling you lies. You gotta keep on keeping on.
Nice. One more.
Gets hard.
Huge. One thing I must say, this is a mixed in the box. The whole mix is going through this, and I've realized I'm hearing complete clarity, no distortion. You know, anything you might be hearing on YouTube is another discussion altogether. But the reality is like, this is not overdriving. This has got the headroom for days. Probably another reason why mastering engineers use it all the time. But I like what it's doing there. It's adding extra energy. Oh, God. I feel like you'd put this on the master bus all the time. It's interesting, you know, because I love compression, but just having this in your arsenal is going to be pretty darn amazing.
Have strength and you gotta have pride, and you gotta keep faith from the telling you lies.
All right, so we're loving it like that. Okay, let's go to the EQ mode. So if I select the EQ mode, obviously it comes off a full range, and it does two things. It basically creates a high and a low shelf. This is your frequency selection on the high. This is your frequency selection on the low. This is a boost and cut, and this is a boost and cut for the low. Okay, so let's use it as an EQ. I'm going to start the track.
Have strength and you gotta have pride, and you gotta keep faith.
Go really high.
Telling you lies.
Oh yeah.
You gotta
Listen to the snare come out.
Gets hard.
So I opened it right up and boosted it, which is really nice for a nice shelf going like this. Okay, let's go down to the low and go down to about 60 and boost that.
Strength and you gotta have pride, man. You gotta keep faith when they're telling you lies. You gotta keep on
Wow.
keeping on when life gets hard.
Okay, you know when I started off this video and I mentioned a couple of times that I have been wanting to try this stuff out for ages. All I can say is thanks Elysia for sending us this. This is a really fantastic unit, a really, really fantastic unit. It's going to be very, very hard for me not to use it all over the place.
Have strength and you gotta have pride, man. You gotta keep faith when they're telling you lies. You gotta keep on keeping on when life gets hard.
Really fantastic. Of course, I'm using it very subtly, but it's making a huge difference. So a lot of different things we could do there. We could separate, like I said right at the beginning, we could put the snare through one side, kick through the other, and have fun and just really shape them with either EQ selection, boosting and selecting the sustain frequencies, the attack frequencies. And what I love about it is like with the sustain, it's like everything below, and with attack, it's everything above, which makes perfect sense. Because normally you would sort of think of attack as being high, mids and above. But because it goes all the way down to 20 hertz, you can bring out the attack in the whole track. You can just use it just to literally sort of like select stuff. Of course, you can go to full range and do the same thing. But if I wanted to increase the attack of the whole track, but I didn't want to do the same thing with the sustain, that's what's smart about it. So you've got full range mode where you look at attack and sustain. You can take it out of the full range mode and then it just becomes two independent frequencies. And I could boost everything as far as attack is concerned, which would be amazing for most mastering engineers and mixers that are given stuff which is already so heavily compressed. But I could also go in there and only sustain frequencies, say, you know, in the very super lows or the whole thing. The point is it's really amazing how many modes you've got, from full range to independent, and then of course the shelving mode is really good where you can just boost and cut EQ. It's a really, really versatile unit, and frankly everything we've done on it so far just sounds really good. And once again, very excited to be able to try it. So what is amazing about this is it's also an incredible giveaway. Not only are you going to get this beautiful unit, which is selling online for about $1,000, they're also going to give you the Qube it comes in, which is remarkable because it's not even released yet. And of course, if you have a 500 series lunchbox, you can put that in as well. So this is an incredible giveaway. So have a marvelous time recording mixing. Don't forget to enter below. Thank you ever so much, Elysia, for sending us this to try. Have a marvelous time recording mixing. Don't forget to leave a bunch of comments and questions. If you've used transit designers, if you use transit designers with EQ functions, or have used any of this stuff, please let us know. I'd really, really love to know. Have a marvelous time recording and mixing, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.